Punch me.
What?
Punch me! I need to get really angry so I can do psychic stuff. Really? My Grant can hit harder than you. Wow. You think it'll work if I'm just so...
Wow.
Right, if you use that
Wow.
What's going on, everybody? This is
Marie
and Reso saying hello and welcome back to another video. Today we have another death battle for you guys, which is Mob versus Tatsumaki. Oh, I think I said that right. I'm pretty sure I said that right. Yeah. So this is off of Mob Psycho 100 versus One Punch Man, character from One Punch Man. So this video is also pretty long, so we're just gonna cut right to the chase and get right into this video. But before we do that,
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay up on everything we got going on. This video, like he said, is long, so let's go ahead and do it.
There are plenty of talented people in the world, but even then, only a select few have the honor of being called prodigy.
But being a prodigy can get to one's head. Or one's head, if you know what I'm saying. Because, you know, the guy who made both these characters is called one. So, yeah.
Mob, the reluctant psychic powerhouse from
You're
Mob
just gonna
Psycho
repass
100.
that. Mob.
And Tatsumaki, the fearless
Oh, okay, I remember who
from
she
One
is.
Punch Man. He's whizzing out boomstick.
for a second I didn't know who
It's our
she.
job
No,
to
I don't
analyze
know who
their
Mob
weapons,
is.
armor, and skills to find out who would
But-
win a death
Yeah.
battle.
Okay.
As a citizen of Seasoning City, you would probably be familiar with the local criminal group Claw.
Maybe even the famous sex symbol and so-called greatest psychic of the century, Reagan.
But you probably wouldn't think twice about this plain-looking boy with a bowl cut, Shigeo Kageyama.
With a bowl cut.
Long story short, he's a pretty unremarkable student of Salt Middle School.
14.
He's the kid you picked last for dodgeball. He's just sort of there, taking up space and stealing your air.
The kanji in his name
Member
can
of
even
the
be
Body
misread as
Improvement
bland,
Club.
which means bland and boring.
Naturally, everybody calls him that.
So you might be surprised to learn that he accidentally took over a local gang, unintentionally founded his own cult, and is an incredibly powerful psychic warrior.
Don't get it mixed up. This isn't your typical superhero secret identity shenanigans. Bob doesn't really give a shit about any of these things. He's just out there trying to fit in by joining the Body Improvement Club, which he sucks horribly at. Oh, come on, man. Running's not that hard. Take it from me. And I've got a
Dang.
shotgun for a leg.
Mob stamina 0%.
Still, when his life is in danger or his friends need protecting, Mob's psychic ability manifests as something truly phenomenal.
He's mega powerful. He might not be able to run a mile without fainting, but he totally can if he boosts his body psychically. He can fly through the air, fling objects all over the place, throw psychic energy attacks, lift giant buildings, cause city-spanning earthquakes, whip up huge twisters, and more.
He's not just an offensive powerhouse, he can mold his psychic energy around his body as a shield. While this isn't an uncommon technique in Mob's world, it's incredibly useful for him in particular, as he's one of the few psychics who can actually attack and defend simultaneously.
Like when he was fighting a bunch of evil spirits all at once. Oh, talk about weird looking. Wiz, you sure he's not just like tripping balls or something?
No, but you're kind of on the right track. These psychic powers are directly linked to emotions. The more sad, angry, rejected, and so on that you feel, the more powerful your psychic abilities become.
Hey, Wiz, punch me.
What?
Punch me! I need to get really angry so I can do psychic stuff. Really? My Grant can hit harder than you. Wow. You think it'll work if I'm just so...
Wow.
Right, if you use that
Wow.
Regardless, the
way that
fact
he
Mob's
walked
psychic
away.
powers are drawn from his emotions is a conundrum in and of itself. See, when Mob was a child, an attempt to use his powers wound up injuring his younger brother. This tragedy would scar Mob forever, terrifying him of his own ability. As a result, he suppressed his emotions for years.
But just like a needy ex, they'd still boil up in bad situations. Us readers got to see them rise with a handy percentage counter. When it hits 100%, Mob goes all out like a Super Saiyan. He can
Okay,
even
that
absorb
makes sense
psychic
now.
energy while in 100 mode.
But that's not Mob's limit, far from it. Suppressing his powers had an unprecedented effect on his psyche. His power became an entity of its own within Mob's mind, representative of his repressed self.
And when things get real bad, it takes over his body in a blind rage, or blind sadness, whatever he's feeling at the time.
In this unmeasurable state, Mob's true prowess is revealed, and it's extraordinary. His sheer psychic aptitude increases at an alarming rate, including his absorption ability.
My powers are being sucked in by Kageyama. All of the energy in the atmosphere. Are you telling me his vessel is able to handle this much?
And while he is often unconscious while his inner self takes over, his
caught
questionable
a
state will
bolt of
continue
lightning.
trying to achieve whatever his most recent objective may be, whether that's taking on the criminal organization Claw or confessing how he feels to his crush.
Alright, I get it. The guy's super strong. So let's figure out just how much psychic power he's got bottled up. Check this out. While smashing this ugly joke through a building, he went from 0 to kick-ass so fast he caught fire.
Taking this feat literally, to get this result he would have to be reaching an ablation speed over 5 times the speed of sound.
Fast, but not as fast as a bolt of lightning, which he was quick enough to catch with his shield.
That's not all. In his duel with Claw's boss, Toichiro, Mob took this huge crushing hit, scaling this massive handprint crater to a nearby building, that one, and applying the resulting fragment to
That
the
one.
rock. We found Mob survived an attack worth over 80 tons of TNT.
How do they know that's supposed to be a 5-story
In
building?
the same
Alright.
fight, he psycho lifted hundreds of buildings into the air. Look at that thing! Suddenly, I have an unshakable urge to go play Katamari Damacy. Somehow, these things will make some stars.
Ahem. Not only is that millions of tons of
Okay.
stone and concrete, but simply creating this orb pushed away the clouds.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. Guys, that's not impressive. Clouds are just fluffy balls of cotton candy. Now I hear you. I thought so too. But turns out that's not true at all. Unfortunately, to move clouds in real life, you need a frickin' hydrogen bomb.
So it's quite impressive when on another occasion, Mob gathered all these clouds himself. By measuring the area and multiplying by average cloud density, this feat comes out to around 30 gigatons of TNT.
20 times the combined destructive capabilities of all the nuclear warheads in the world.
Granted, Mob isn't all powerful. For example, once while absorbing an explosive attack, he reached a definitive limit, though he compensated by redirecting all that psychic energy into some broccoli seeds, with interesting
Broccoli
results.
Oh man, it's gonna be hard to hide that one under the table.
In time, Mob eventually reconnected with his repressed self, fully accepting his past and his powers.
So look out, he may look like a total dork, but this is one middle schooler you don't want to try stealing lunch money from.
Right.
Feel it. Rage. Burning in me.
Anybody who's watched this show, is it worth watching? Should we
In
try
a
it
world
out?
filled with monsters and villains which threaten
Leave
the
it in the
survival of
comments.
humanity on a daily basis, it's a stroke of luck that mankind has its fair share of saviors in the form of superheroes.
And some of these heroes are so powerful they can crush all the baddies without even laying a finger on them.
These are espers, superhumans who possess powerful psychic abilities.
And one of them is a girl named Tatsumaki. What the? Is that real? Why did she have cinnamon rolls stuck on her face?
Well, let's just say one is more well known for his excellent storytelling than, say, his art. Regardless, Tatsumaki's psychic abilities were extraordinary, even at a young age. So much so, she was taken from her family to be detained and studied at a research facility. She was 7 years
Favorite
old.
hobby is being a
Oh,
brat.
Not the best childhood, obviously. Lucky for her, she got out thanks to a surprise rescue by the hero called Blast. Who blasts things, I guess? No one really knows.
Either way, Blast's rescue changed Tatsumaki's life forever, and he left her with one very important lesson. When the time comes, don't expect someone to save you.
That's kinda harsh. He
Yeah.
is supposed to be a superhero, right?
Whether it be she was inspired by his heroism or torn by his contradiction, Tatsumaki decided to take up hero work for herself. Thus, she took up the mantle, Tornado of Terror.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Doesn't that sound more like a supervillain name? And you might mistake her for one too, cause she's kind of a brat.
Well, she is the best at what she does, and she knows it. So she often seems arrogant and rude. With her psychokinesis, she often floats above her opponents, looking down on them literally and figuratively.
Her favorite thing to do is throw rocks at people. Big rocks, small rocks, rocks from outer space, doesn't matter. If it's vaguely rock-shaped, it's flying at you. But she doesn't discriminate. She's also fine throwing other things like trains, schools, people, even a giant octopus.
Not only that, but she can alter the direction of gravity, create town-spanning barriers, twist up a human body, cause magnitude 8 level earthquakes, and spin up enormous whirlwinds.
Oh, you
Fitting
said
for
magnitude
her
8.
And that's not even half
Other
of
dude
it.
can do
She's
9.
the most powerful Esper of
Something
them
like
all. Even better than her older sister, Fubuki.
Actually, that's her younger sister.
Wait, what? Man, anime's real confusing.
But given her past, even with her sister beside her, Tatsumaki has some serious trust issues.
She doesn't even want Fubuki to have friends. Chill out, lady. Friends are important. Right, Wiz?
Sorry, what?
Oh. Well, he had his chance.
Anyway, manipulating objects and organisms is only part of her skill set. Tatsumaki's power truly shines when it comes to precision.
Oh yeah, she's so talented, she can use her crazy mind power to have full control over television!
Yeah, sure, but that's not really what I had in mind.
Change! Change!
Well, Tatsumaki has some level of control over a person's chi, or as it's known in traditional Chinese culture, vital life force. If she can overpower her opponent, she can use their own chi to
He's
disable
really over
or
sweating
even kill
bullets.
them.
Yeah.
I did it! I'm psychic!
Against other espers, she can spiral her own energy to redirect theirs, and even suppress their powers in an instant.
Yeah, Lady Tornado can block their psychicness whenever she wants, so long as they're a weaker Esper than her, which basically means everyone. One Punch Man, meet the One Thought Woman. Seriously, this chick is so powerful she pulled a meteor from outer space.
Well, while that move is pretty well known, it technically is not canon to the original source material. However, that doesn't mean it's off the table, as it turns out her other accomplishments prove she's more than powerful enough to pull it off.
Just look at her lifting up this. What am I looking at here?
Good question. Thankfully, one was kind enough to include these lovely labels identifying Z-City and an underground hideout. Now, Tatsumaki is psychokinetically lifting the entire hideout, which was previously stated to reach over 1,500 meters deep. As for the city, the world of One Punch Man is based on real-life locations in Tokyo. So at the very least, we could compare Z-City to a smaller district like Ginza, which consists of about 215 acres. With the size of an average building in that district in mind, and thus scaling the building to the hideout and then to Ginza, we found that Tatsumaki must be lifting over 3 billion tons of rock.
That's like lifting the entire Great Wall of China 62 times. More than powerful enough to pull a meteor from the sky.
When the alien invader Boros attacked City A with a hailstorm of giant bullets, she was fast
Oh,
enough
see,
to
now it
stop
says
them in
magnitude
midair
9
and turn them
earthquake.
back on the enemy ship. Scaling
But he
these
said
bullets to the
8
height
at
of a
first.
human and gauging by the
See,
amount of damage
maybe
they could
lying.
cause,
Maybe
the
lying,
bullets
guys.
must have been moving 1,800 times faster than sound.
She's tough enough to survive an attack that's 300 times the Earth's gravity, which probably explains why she could push through crazy G-forces while flying and fighting against the One Punch Man himself, Saitama.
By looking at the distance they flew in such a short time frame, they were likely moving more than 36 times the speed of sound.
Which is awesome, but she still didn't win the fight.
It was actually a rather humbling experience for her, finally realizing that perhaps she isn't the most powerful person alive.
I mean, all Espers have limits, including Tatsumaki. Their psychic power drains them of energy, so they can get worn out to a point where they can't do their psycho magic for a while.
Also, she generally has to focus exclusively on either offense or defense. So when she's on the attack, her guard is lowered, something a skilled enough opponent can certainly take advantage of. Also, should an Esper like Tatsumaki suffer a serious head injury, their powers become more difficult to use.
So maybe she's not quite the unstoppable goddess she thought she was. And after getting that memo, she finally loosened up a bit. She even let her sis hang out with her friends instead of throwing them into a wall or something. Aw.
Yet, at the end of the day, the idea that anyone could even hope to match the Tornado of Terror's pure psychic power seems laughable.
You disgust me. Get lost.
What's with the attitude from this lost child?
Okay, yeah. So I think I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my first mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with him.
What are you doing, dummy? Get out of here.
Can you help me? Do you go to the middle school here?
Middle school? Know your place.
She rude.
They already said that. 62%.
He said, and growing.
You think you're impressive? I'll crush you in 5 seconds flat!
75. He said, girl, don't push me.
Pause it.
Okay.
Pause it. Pause it.
Uh-oh. I'm at 100.
Time to teach you a lesson.
What?
By the way, just so you know, this is your fault.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Remember, he can defend and attack at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
How easy.
That's what I was going off of. They don't even know.
You think you're a big shot? Try this!
Did nothing. Oh, that's a headshot. Those are headshots. And she said she takes headshots, it'll be weaker. Yep.
You
Ooh.
should pay more attention.
That didn't kill him. Are you kidding me? We was wrong.
Nobody beats me.
I knew it.
Whoa, that was crazy!
Okay.
I thought for
I
sure
knew
Mom
it.
would win with his sucking power.
This was an incredibly close match. Honestly, if we were to run through this fight 100
And the
more
only
times, Mom
reason
could
why
reasonably win
in my
40
head I
or
was
so of
thinking
But we're not here to find
Her
out who wins 40% of the time.
was
Mom had
because-
tons
They
of
played her
awesome
down
abilities,
so
which
much
gave
that I was like,
Tatsumaki
it's
a hard
probably
time,
her.
But she still had the
they
stuff
did.
to pull up
And
a
like
win
they
more
was talking about
times
the
than not.
experience.
Right. First of all,
Yeah,
Tatsumaki
she
has
has
way
more
more
advantage when it
experience,
came
yeah.
to training and
14. No, he's in
See?
middle
He's a
school.
They just said that.
superhero who was trained from 7 years old, fighting a middle schooler who never wanted to use his powers in the first place.
She was faster too, given her reaction against Boros' bullets moving over 617,000 meters per second.
Sure, Mob reacted to friggin' lightning, but believe it or not, that's still technically slower.
See, a lightning
Lightning
bolt
is-
technically has two different speeds to consider. First, for the slower leader of ionized air going down, and second, for the faster flash going up. Given that Mob was reacting to a projectile moving down towards him, this can only mean he was reacting to the leader, which moves 98,000 meters per second, more than 6 times slower than Tatsumaki.
So, even though Mob had the edge of being able to attack and defend at the same time, Tatsumaki was a lot quicker than him. So she could switch between attacking and defending fast enough to counter Mob whenever she really needed to.
Still, that alone doesn't mean Mob couldn't have eventually scored a fatal blow. All of this would mean nothing if Tatsumaki couldn't overpower Mob's absorbing shield.
His awesome power of suck!
Right, we know Mob's sucking shield had a limit given how he was forced to transfer absorbed energy into those seeds, growing a massive head of broccoli in an instant. We can actually use this broccoli to get a general idea of Mob's absorbing limits. Broccoli typically requires 143 kilojoules of energy to grow 1/10 of a kilogram's worth. Scaling this giant one to the nearby buildings,
Oh,
we
God.
found it to
How?
be 21
I don't
million
know.
times larger than the average broccoli. This means Mob must have transferred enough energy to equate to about 1.6 megatons of TNT.
Yeah, but how about the energy Tatsumaki used to stop and redirect those giant bullets? Those things are huge,
Oh, God.
solid shells with no explosive component, given how Saitama here was able to crush one without triggering a big kaboom. And they could wipe out a whole city.
we're shown that the shells destroyed most of City A in one shot, and we can see how much damage they dealt to Boros' ship when Tatsumaki turned them around. With this data in mind, the height of Boros' ship, and the already calculated bolt speed, we determined the energy she displayed here must have equaled at least 470 gigatons of TNT.
Way more than Mob's big cloud feet, and more than enough to shatter his shield all at once. Tatsumaki was just too damn powerful. And it's not like Mob could absorb giant rocks thrown at him either.
Certainly, Mob's unique powers were generally passive and defensive, whereas Tatsumaki's were better suited to precision strikes and deadly blows. Once Mob's barrier was down, she had plenty of options for wrapping things up, whether it be blocking his psychic power, controlling his chi, or simply crushing him herself.
And her powers weren't dependent on her feelings, so she was always at full strength, no matter what the situation was.
Mob certainly had the skill and ability to put up an incredibly close fight, but Tatsumaki's experience, speed, and power put an end to this prodigious battle.
She just had the experience she needed.
The winner is Tatsumaki.
I like that green on her though.
I guess.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Death Battle.
We gotta watch the
Battle music for yourself. You can
ending
get back
of
to the link
who's
down
coming
below,
next.
And you can check out more of our stuff right over there.
You can't have a death battle season
Oh,
without
he's
Deadpool,
back?
right?
Deadpool, right? Deadpool, right?
Hey, Boomstick.
Yeah, Wiz.
I think I might know a way to get rid of Deadpool once and for all.
Oh, the Hulk?
Really?
Let's kill Deadpool. Oh, the mask.
I'm interested in that.
Huh. Yeah, that.
This should be interesting.
Oh.
This should be really interesting.
The mask and Deadpool.
That's a nice.
How
I like
is that
that.
gonna work out?
I like that.
What?
I still think Deadpool's gonna win, but I like it. I like it.
I have no idea. I'm definitely gonna go see. We're definitely gonna react to that one, guys. I have no idea how the mask will pull this off. Because Deadpool can't die unless with.
But they said they
that
figured
certain
out
sword.
how. They said they figured out
They
how.
think they have. But how do you, I mean, the mask, all you do is just take the mask off of him, and then he's back to just a normal person. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be, I just feel like Deadpool's going to win regardless, but we'll see how that goes. But, and anyways, about this one, Mob and Tatsumaki.
I'm not surprised. They played her down like.
Yeah, then they left out that whole bullet thing. They left that out. So then they brought it at the end. I was like, well, we didn't know that. Like, oh, of course.
That's how it works. That's what they do.
Yeah. But this whole scaling stuff is just hilarious.
Broccoli.
How they took an
The
average
amount
broccoli.
of energy to grow one measly broccoli.
And then measured it up to the size of that other broccoli, but scaled that broccoli to a house that they figured was a certain size. And then the broccoli must have accumulated 1 point something megatons of. Oh god, this is hilarious. They calculations be funny sometimes.
Oh my goodness! Like, who calculates how much energy it takes to grow a vegetable?
I don't know. I think half the time. Sometimes I just think they just be saying stuff because they know that we go and just go with it and just.
We don't have a choice.
Yeah, because who's gonna really go look it up? I'm not. Like, I don't care that much to go look it up.
Not the energy it takes to grow a piece of broccoli.
No, I'm not gonna try to look up all the calculations in every video. I don't care that much, to be honest. So it is what it is. But yeah, guys. So like I said, we wasn't really too surprised, but the way that they was doing it, we thought it was gonna be Mob. But
it's okay.
Yeah, we cool.
It's okay.
We cool.
Like, I get it. Yeah. But
oh yeah, if y'all anybody seen that Mob Psycho 100, like the anime, let us know. Like, how is it? We never heard of it for real. But just leave it in the comments. If it's something to go watch or not, if we should pass on it or not. Just let us know.
Let us know.
But yeah, that's gonna do it, guys, for this video. We out.